Hey guys, it is Zach from Zach's Why Reviews, and welcome to part 2 of my gigantic 2-part book haul. So this is part 2 of a large book haul. If you want to see part 1, go click on the eye over here, and you'll be taken to that, and you can click on that video and watch it. If you haven't seen it yet, that is all of the books that I purchased myself. This haul will be books that either authors or publishers sent to me, or that my mom bought for me. So, without further ado, I'm going to get started with the ARCs, then go to the finished copies, and then finish off with the books my mom bought for me. So, the first book I have is No Good Deed by Kara Connolly, and this is about a girl named Ellie who is an Olympic archery hopeful, but she just needs to pass the trials in England. But when she is there, she takes a wrong turn, finds herself back in time, and takes on a bit of a Robin Hood role. But she soon finds she's on the brink of rewriting history, and if she doesn't get back to her own time, bad things are going to happen. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm on the blog tour for this, so check out my blog on August 4th to see my thoughts on this book. Then I have One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. This is, I believe, just a standalone. Yeah, because I've read it. It's a standalone. And this is sort of like Breakfast Club meets murder, as 5 kids are sent to detention. One of them is a Yale-bound brain who never breaks the rules. There's the picture-perfect homecoming princess, the criminal already on probation for dealing, the all-star baseball pitcher, and then lastly, the creator of Bayview High's notorious gossip app. And so Simon, the creator of the said gossip app, ends up dead. And you kind of have to figure out who killed Simon and why. And just remember, one of us is lying. So I really enjoyed this book. It was a great contemporary thriller. It definitely had a bit more of the contemporary than the thriller, but it was really good. Like very, very addicting stuff here. Then I have Stolen Secrets by L.B. Schulman. I don't quite remember exactly what this is about, but the author did approach me in reviewing it, and I did remember really liking it. So I'm going to read the back blurb, so I hope you guys don't mind. A family's deepest secrets revealed. When 16-year-old Livy's mother abruptly moves them across the country to San Francisco, Livy is shocked to find that her mother has lied to her. Instead of working at a bakery, Livy's mom is actually taking care of Adele, Livy's grandmother, who Livy thought was long dead. Suffering from Alzheimer's, Adele shouts strange things, mistakes her own name, and seems to relive moments that may have taken place in a concentration camp. When Livy and her new friend, Franklin, find journal entries from the Holocaust in Adele's home, Livy begins to suspect that her mother may have a shocking link to a notable figure, Anne Frank. So the author, I feel like, has to be pretty on her feet, I guess, when it comes to this. This is definitely a sensitive topic, but I think this author can handle it well. I've read, I think, her other YA book, League of Strays, which was fantastic. And so I'm hoping to really like this book. This doesn't come out until September, so I'll probably be reading it sometime in August. Oh, and there's Goodreads links for all of these books down below, and then review links if I've already reviewed them. Next I have The Savage Dawn, which is the third and final book in the Girl at Midnight series, though I prefer to call it the Feathers and Flames series because that's what my library has it marked as, and it just fits so much better with this series than just using the first title as the name of the entire series. This is about a bird-like Avacyn race fighting the dragon-like Dracaran race for seemingly all time, and the only thing that can stop them is the mythical Firebird. And so a young girl named Echo, who is human but has been raised by the Avacyn, goes out in search of it, and along the way she bumps into the Dragon Prince, also on a search for the Firebird. This series is fantastic. I loved the first 2 books. I'm really excited to see how this series ends, and thank you so much to, hey, Delacorte Press for sending me a copy of the book. Then I have Rise of the Isle of the Lost, a Descendants novel by Melissa De La Cruz. This is the 3rd Descendants novel and serves as a prequel to the upcoming Descendants 2 movie. I have a guilty pleasure with the Descendants series. I don't know what it is about the series, but I just eat up every little bit of it. I've seen all the Wicked World shorts. I've read all of the novels by Melissa De La Cruz. I'm almost caught up with the novels for even younger readers by Jessica Brody, and I've seen Descendants way more times than I'm willing to admit. This book was fantastic. It served as a great prequel to the second movie, which comes out, I believe, June 21st on Disney Channel. Also, thank you to Disney for sending me this book. Next, I have When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I probably completely butchered that name, and I feel really bad. This has been making its way around BookTube. I've seen it's about two Indian teenagers, one who she sort of rejects her culture. Not necessarily rejects, but it's just that she doesn't want to get into an arranged marriage so young, and she thinks her parents are finally letting up when they let her go to this web development camp that she's been wanting to go to. And then there's Rishi, who finds a lot of solace in his family's traditions and is actually a hopeless romantic that is excited about being arranged. And so his parents tell him that he's going to go to this web development camp, and there he's going to find his future bride, and he has to woo her. And I'm assuming things don't go very well, because look at that picture on the back cover. I hope you can see that. Yeah. So I've heard amazing things about this book. I've heard that this has a lot of feels, but like happy, kind of fluffier feels. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I think I actually am reading this during the BookTubeathon, which my TBR will be coming around here pretty shortly. Thank you to Simon Pulse for When Dimple Met Rishi. Sorry, I'm getting really bad at this. Okay, the next three are all from Harper Teen, so hopefully, I'm just gonna say in advance, thank you Harper Teen for these next three books. The first one is The Sandcastle Empire by Kayla Olson. This is a dystopian book where a character wants to escape this oppressive regime and go to the sanctuary island, but when she finally gets there, it seems that the sanctuary island isn't as idyllic and utopian as she was expecting. So I've heard mixed things about this book. It's kind of a you love it or it's meh. So hopefully I'm one of those that loves it, but yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get around to reading this book, to be honest. It was unsolicited, so yeah. Then I have Shadowcaster by Cinda Williams-Chima. I know, I hauled this in my last book haul, but this is a finished copy sent to me by the publisher, and I have to say, while it does say book 2 down here at the bottom, even though the covers have been changed, the spines do match. So for those that are like really concerned about matching spines, they match. Anyway, this is the second book in the Shattered Realms series, which is a sequel to the Seven Realms series, also by Cinda Williams-Chima. And it's just a fantastic high fantasy series. If you haven't read the Seven Realms series, I highly urge you to do so. It's amazing. I couldn't even get through the second book without just pretty much binging the rest of the series. The Shattered Realms, at least the first one, isn't as good as the other ones in my opinion, but it's still pretty freaking fantastic. And I need to read this book. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read this book. It's going to be the next book I read, I swear. I swear. Then the last book that was sent to me by publishers is The Scattering by Kimberly McCreight. This is the second book in the Outliers trilogy, which starts off as a YA thriller, but then takes a bit of a sci-fi vibe, I have to say. It's really good. The first book, The Outliers, I know I gave 5 stars to it. It's been so long since I've read it, though, that I'm going to have to reread it before I get into this book. But I remembered really, really liking it. I kind of can't wait to get back into this, but it probably won't happen until early fall. Now on to books my mom bought me. The first one I have is Royce Rolls by Margaret Stoll. This is sort of a spoof on those celebrities that have reality TV shows just because they're famous for being famous. and it is about a girl named Bentley Royce who doesn't want to be on this reality TV show anymore. She wants it to just end. And it looks like it could be, but then shenanigans happen, and I don't really know much else, so yeah. But I've heard really great things about it, that it's really funny, it's, you know, it's very tongue-in-cheek, I think, and I can't wait to start this, because I believe it's a standalone, and again, I've heard really good things. Then I have one book that really needs no introduction, and that is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I got this because of the Netflix series. Well, really, I got it because I've been wanting to read it for years, but never got around to it. My friend read it soon after it was published, and she said she loved it. I need to read it, but this is definitely one of those books that's very emotionally taxing, I'm sure, and I just kind of need to be in the right mood to have that much emotion drained out of me, because I know it's going to happen. I know it is going to happen with this book, but I will read this hopefully by the end of the year. Hopefully. Then I have Geeker Ella by Ashley Poston. This is a contemporary retelling of Cinderella with a nerd culture twist. This is another one that's made its way around BookTube, and I'm sure everybody's heard about it. It's about a girl who has a really special connection with this Star Trek-like show, and a reboot is coming out, and she's not really a big fan of the guy who's playing the main character, and the guy who's playing the main character really loves this show as well, but because of the image he's sort of been given by his agents, he's not really seen as the type of person that would love this show. And so I believe these two characters kind of meet in like a chat room for this show or something and form a connection, and then Cinderella stuff happens, I'm almost positive. Again, another one that I've heard really good things about, a lot of hype for this book, and I can't wait to get around to it. Also, I have to say, look at it naked. Isn't this like the coolest cover? I'm sorry, I like naked books. That probably sounded really bad. Then I have a book that I picked up at the dollar store that my mom bought for me, and that is The Boleyn Deceit by Laura Anderson. This is a speculative historical fiction story in which Anne Boleyn had a son for Henry VIII. And this, I believe, is the second book. The first book is called The Boleyn King, which I also have somewhere in my house. But yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to reading this series. I believe it's an adult series, but regardless, I'm looking forward to getting around to it at some point. And now I have the second book, and it was only $1. And finally, I have The Thousandth Floor by, I really need to start reading these before I pull it up, Catherine McGee. This, I believe, has 5 points of view, 4 of which are girls, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I was kind of hoping for a little more half and half, but regardless, it takes place in a future New York and kind of deals with New York's elite. I've heard this be compared to Gossip Girl. Don't know how accurate those comparisons are, but yeah, I've heard not much about this book, to be honest. I mean, I've heard a lot about like how much people love the cover, but not really much in terms of like reviews for this book. But regardless, I'm really interested to get to it, and the second book is coming out soon, so I need to get on it like ASAP. And that is finally the end of my 2-part book haul. Again, there are Goodreads and review links down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love any and all comments I get. Well, I mean, if you just like completely insult me, I probably won't like it. But feel free to leave comments letting me know, have you read any of these books? Do you like any of these books? Do you hate any of these books? Please let me know. I need to know. Anyway, have an amazing day, and as always, happy reading. Bye!